Hey guys, so this is gonna be a quick one. As you know from last week, had big plans for this week. I was like, Monday's gonna be a snow day and I'm gonna work on my book all day and it's gonna be so great and peaceful. And if you've looked at the news and you know I live in Texas, then you can guess how that went. Starting Sunday night, we lost power and it went off and on Monday, Tuesday, into Wednesday. Our longest outage was 15 hours. It was not great. It was like, you know, getting close to zero, below zero with wind chill outside at night. And our water also eventually, even though we were dripping the pipes, the water eventually went out too. We do have power now, thankfully. And so we have heat, but it was not a great couple of days. We've been like trickling water and trying to save it because there were a lot of warnings about how the water levels were getting low, and that's still the case. And like I said, in the bottom floor of our building, some of the pipes froze and burst and there's some flooding. Our apartment is not flooded, but we're still taking precautions, and like I said, the water's been shut off, so there's still a lot going on. I'm really just grateful to have heat because dang y'all, it gets cold in here when you do not have heat, and it is below zero outside. This is not something Texans are used to dealing with, and I am usually the first to make fun of us Southerners and how like 2 inches of snow throws us all off, but this wasn't so much about the snow as it was the temperatures. We just weren't ready. We hung sheets over the windows to try to add just like another layer of protection. We whipped out the big giant flashlight that Josh uses for astrophotography and little battery powdered candles, and it's just been a weird couple of days. Anyway, it was very uncomfortable and very inconvenient, but you know, I'm fine and Josh is fine. We are, you know, we were able to handle it. I'm still incredibly worried about all the people out there who still don't have power, elderly people, people with small children and babies, people who are sick and immunocompromised and have medical issues that require devices that require power. It's just an absolute disaster, honestly, unlike anything I've ever personally been through. And I've lived in lots of different places with things like, you know, hurricanes, tornadoes, etc. But yeah, I've never been through anything like this. I could go on a longer rant about it, but this is not a vlog about Michelle ranting about how for years and I guess decades, Texas officials have completely failed to prepare the Texas grid for this kind of disaster and decided to put the lives of millions of people at risk. It's a writing vlog, so let's talk about writing. Even without power on Monday, I had an actually pretty good day. I did spend the entire day on Dragon Balloon, and I got done most of the fun world building stuff I wanted to do. That includes, I have my cast of characters for the omniscient fantasy story within my story, and I love them. I feel like I know them very, very well, and this was like all within just like 3 or 4 hours of work. That went great. And once I got to know them and started digging into their wants and their needs and their motivations and things like that, more of that story started like unfurling in my mind. And so yeah, I felt great about it. And then I also did some really fun world building. I kind of mapped out the fantasy land and the different provinces within it, and more of the history, details about the history, secrets that the characters will discover about the history of their world, fun things like that. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of Holly Lissel. She's been around for a while. She's a sci-fi fantasy author, and for, gosh, since before I started even writing my very first book, she has been putting out fabulous workshops and workbooks on things like world building, building a language, plotting, writing a great scene, and they're great. Like, definitely recommend you check them out, and I'll link her down in the description below. But I bought her world building workbook years ago, and I opened it for inspiration on Monday. And one of the things that she said that I really liked and that really stuck with me was that as an author, you're not actually creating a world, you're creating the illusion of a world, and you're letting your readers fill everything else in. Because when I look at in the Save the Cat software and lots of other software, when you do things like world building, they give you all these options, like what are its geographical features, what's its culture like, what's its food like, you know, what are its crops, what are this and that, and it's cool. And part of me is tempted to fill it all out, but the other part of me is super overwhelmed. And I know that those books that you pick up and read and you get like info dump exposition that about the world in the story that has nothing to do with the story itself, that is a result of an author who did so much world building that they felt the need to pack it all into their book just so that you knew they did it. But if it doesn't serve the story, it doesn't belong. We need to pick out the details of the world building that is relevant to our story and let our readers fill out the other details. So even though it was a little painful for me when I was entering all the stuff in the Save the Cat software, I didn't attempt to fill out every single box at all. I focused more on what I needed to know about each province and each place that the characters would visit in order to make this book, this story work. What would serve the story? And it was great. It was super great. And so that was Monday. I haven't really worked on Dragon Balloon too much since, but I did manage to get about 7,000 words written on a client's book that's due next week, which again, you know, all things considered, I'm pretty proud of myself for getting that done. So anyway, that's it. Just a short update from me. That is how my week's going. I'm going to find some links of ways you can help Texans who are still really struggling if you are able to donate, and I'm going to put that in the comments below. I've found a few to donate to myself. I'm just feeling just so grateful to have power again. And it really pains me to know that hundreds of thousands of people are still without. So if you are able to give, that would be awesome. And yeah, fingers crossed that next time I vlog, I have running water again. That would be cool. I hope you guys are having a real good week. If you are in Texas, please let me know that you're safe and doing okay too. I really hope you are. And I will see you guys next week with another vlog. Bye.